Okay, y'all. This is the first time that I'm creating the intro first before the main chunk of the episode because I already know what this episode will be about. Today we'll be talking about heroes that are put on the pedestal. So, yeah, when they are knocked down, you realize that they're just people at the end of the day. So, let's go through this journey together, shall we? In this podcast of Heartfelt Expressions with Katara Speaks. I will try not to move so much while recording this episode. I realize when I am anxious, I move a lot, and it affects the quality of the audio, so I will try my best to stay still and just share you guys the stories. Okay. I had two heroes in my life. Two people that I really admired, really looked up to, and I thought they were perfection. I thought they could do no wrong. That they had all the qualities that I wanted. I realized eventually that they're just people. And when that perfection shattered, I felt as if no one is perfect because I was trying to be perfect myself. I tried to have all the great qualities that a person should have. So I felt that I was lost. I didn't know what to do. Let's get a little deeper into these heroes of mine. So, one of them was a guardian. I look up to this person because they was involved in their children's lives. Very active. Always at my celebration ceremonies, award ceremonies, events. It felt good, I got celebrated for my accomplishments, for getting good grades, for placing in different competitions. And yeah, there were so many things. I learned a lot from this guardian, and this guardian seemed as if they were perfect. Until when I got older, I realized that as I started developing my own opinions, my own mentality, because we are all compiled of different experiences, so it would differ from the people that raised us, I realized that my opinions and my decisions was so strong, so rooted, that no one could budge me when I made a decision, that it clashed with my guardian sometimes. It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because this person I considered my hero, on that pedestal, on high regard and admiration, was now humified, they're a person, and it hurt because I felt like my life was a lie. Even though it was not, it was a feeling and it was a thought that I had. It wasn't the full picture. I was naive that I thought what I saw was the whole picture. Parents want to show their children the best side of them sometimes. Yeah, when I went through that transition of growing up, seeing that people are people, it hurt my feelings. Yeah, It's okay to be a person with emotions. It's okay to have flaws and make mistakes. You know, people can't read each other's minds like that if people don't show verbally or non-verbally what they want. Yeah, and some people are good at hiding their emotions. I surely was. I was really good at hiding my sadness, my anger, any resentments, any worries, all my fears. I hid them all and put it inside of a box inside of me, and yeah, it was like hide and seek. It's like, oh, find all these emotions, and when they finally came out, it was so strong that there was a cognitive dissonance. Yeah. So, my second hero. I looked up to this person so much because they was in a field that I wanted to be in. They did so many things that I wanted to do. They were Asian, you know. They had, you know, we look different. Everyone looks different. Even if they're the same race or ethnicity. But in the sense of seeing another Asian person out there doing what I wanted to do was so inspiring. I had this person on a pedestal in high regard. When I realized that they're just a person with flaws too, with emotions, like it hurt because getting close to your heroes is it could be a shocking thing. That cognitive dissonance, getting close to your heroes. I realized that on the outside, of course, everyone wants to make a great impression. And I did too, but once I got close to my hero, I realized that, dang, it's deeper. It's, you know, we have our backgrounds and our stories and our triggers. So, yeah, it hurt. Alright, guys. I listened to the segment about my second hero, and I was listening to it over and over, and I realized that I did not share with you guys everything. Yes, in the beginning, my second hero was on top of the world. And I am so frustrated. I be real. This is my emotions, and I've been recording this over and over and over again because I don't want to be perceived. This is, I guess, this people pleasing. I don't want to be perceived as a savage for saying that I didn't want to share all the information. And since I didn't share all the information, it seems like I was being petty, that I realized my hero was a human with emotions. No, that's not the case. Guys, I was so vague, and I understand that I could have been perceived that way. My hero was actually my worst nightmare. Actually became my worst nightmare because when you look at someone from a distance, it seems so peachy green, you know? The ideal version of who you want to be, a role model, you know, doing the impossible. Though, actually, the things that you see other people do, it is possible. You can do it. And when I got into the inner circle, I was bashed on, you know? I was made fun of. I was picked on and pitched against other people. There was so much going on. And then toxic positivity and picking at my emotions and saying that, oh, they knew better than me because, you know, their experience, their accomplishments. Guys, yes, I am young. And during that time period, yes, I was young too. Though that does not mean that I knew nothing. I came to the place that I did. I know I'm big, but at the time I came to the place that I did because of my accomplishments, my skills, and what I can do. And when I became in the inner circle of this hero, it was literally the worst period of my life. And yes, I was trying to make it peachy cream because this is what this episode about, right? Looking at our heroes, and yes, they are on pedestals. Oh my gosh, they are on pedestals because of our perception. It is. And when we realize there's more behind what actually, like, there's more behind what we actually think, it gets real. And I was burned. I'm emotional, and I wanted to add this segment in here. I felt like this episode was not complete. I do not apologize for my emotions because, oh my gosh, that was one of the worst period of my life. It was. I thought it was one of the best period of my life because, oh my gosh, I'm working with my hero. We won't get much into it. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough. It was so tough. I felt burnt out. I was depressed. And now that I'm back on this podcast and back on here, I can be real with you guys, and I'm so used to making myself be perceived a certain way, even within this episode, even when I'm talking about in the next segment. I pre-recorded it from last time. Even when I said that I was on a pedestal, it's because I kept going and didn't share all these emotions because I felt like it was too raw. Like right now, this is cringe to me because it's like, oh, that's not what a proper Asian or a proper lady will sound like. Oh, you sound so rough. Oh, you sound so loud. Who you think you are? This is not who you're supposed to be. This is not who we known you to be. Guys, I do not apologize. I have emotions too. Everyone has emotions. I did not give this segment, the second hero segment, justice when I just practically flattered that person, flattered the connection when it was not like that at all. I realized that a lot of people put me on a pedestal growing up. And someone even asked me, did anyone ever told you that you're perfect? Like literally someone asked me that question. And I said no. But it really bothered me because that's what a lot of people are thinking. You know, I didn't show any other emotions besides from happy. I excelled in my academics. I excelled in my extracurriculars. I did so many honor societies, so many clubs. I did sports. I did a lot. And yeah, when I was trying to appear more human, you know, with emotions and struggles and stuff like that, that cognitive dissonance that I was not who people perceived me to be was so strong that time felt as if it stopped. When I shared poetry a couple of times, I shared poetry to my classmates and my teacher at the time. I shared that I was drowning. I felt like I was drowning and I was calling for help. I needed help. I felt like I was overwhelmed by all the expectations of being an Asian American, an Asian woman, and a star student. I was so overwhelmed and I didn't know what to do. And I literally said in the poem, help, help. Something like that. I literally said the word help, help. I can't get out. Please, someone help me. Something like that. And after the poem was finished, no one clapped, no one snapped, everyone just stared at me for a good 5 seconds until I broke the silence and said, "Oh, it wasn't about me. It was just a poem." And then everyone clapped and snapped and stuff like that. And my teacher at the time didn't even know what to do. She didn't talk to me after class. She didn't suggest that I go to therapy or talk to the counselor or anything. And other times when I showed vulnerability, as like, for example, I cried when I got a bad grade in my AP pre-exam. You know, it was one of those test exams, like a previous AP exam, AP advanced placement. You know, I wasn't good. I was not good with test taking. I usually read the questions over and over and over again, and it wastes so much time. So usually I did not finish the exam, and I will have like 20 questions left that I would guess, and it affected my grade because I couldn't even read the question to guess on. It wasn't even educated. So I was so devastated that I got a D, quote unquote a D, on my pre-exam. It didn't actually count towards my overall grade, but I would have failed. I started crying because one of my classmates at the time did really well. And I was like, dang, I feel like such a failure. And my friends didn't know, something like that. They didn't know what to do. And it happened several times. And yeah, I didn't know how to get off the pedestal with those people because they knew me for an extended period of time for perfection. That high level performing student who's always happy. Yeah. So I realized it within myself that I did that, and I saw the heroes that was on a pedestal, and when they came off of it, I was shocked too. So I understand. It's a whole process. So going forward, and with this podcast so far, I wanted to be authentic. I wanted to share my thoughts, feelings, experiences, and stories in an unapologetic way, even when I cringe at my own words, at my delivery, because I was so used to doing things until it was over an A+. Yeah, I would get at least 102% every time I did a speech. So anything less than that felt like I was a failure. Even if I got an A, I felt like a failure. That's how much pressure I put on myself and how much pressure I had from my peers and from my family. So yeah, I have been doing a lot better with that on here and on social media, because I used to do that on social media all the time. I would record at least 60 videos before I post something. I would edit things for hours on end for just a 15-second segment, 15-second video. I would spend hours on the edits and on the description of the post. It's not that deep, but to me, it meant the whole world was reliant on that. I felt I needed validation, the permission, and the approval to just be good enough to live my life. So after these experiences, I made a decision to really live my life for me, to really just be me, be authentic. And those who doesn't resonate with that, so be it. For those who do, cool. You know, I don't have to pretend no more. I don't. So, this is me, y'all. You guys are getting my thoughts, emotions, experiences, and the stories I had playing in my head. The stories that, you know, of these experiences. So I said a lot in this episode today. I was vulnerable and it felt good. Honestly, it felt good to share those narratives in my head, because yeah, we don't talk about this that much. It practically was the guide in my life. You know, it's like, oh, you need to be perfect. So being able to articulate it and identify other people that I put on a pedestal, that I considered heroes, and realize they're just people, I can interact with myself and others better, more authentically. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope that it sparked some reflections in your life, that it was helpful for y'all. If it was, let me know. Share it with someone you know. Follow, subscribe to this podcast. Check out the other episodes. You know, they have similar vibes, conversational, reflections, especially in season 1, especially this season. So, yeah. Until next time, I see y'all soon.